but clearly you can see there's a pattern starting to form.
There's something interesting he's mentioned about the transferability of what Uhuru Kenyatta had to Raila Odinga. That's a conversation we've not had before, but it appears for the first time there is that much influence in Mandera for Uhuru on Azimio.
And was it the president or local leaders?
And I was going to talk about that, because as we get more numbers, we then will need to have a discussion about how local politics affected the popularity of one candidate over the other, negotiated democracy. And some candidates being asked to step down, and we know all the hullabaloo that caused. I think we'll need to dig into that a little bit. But let me also speak to someone who's joining us now, Dr. Hilary Gondi, all the way from Canada. At least I hope he's there right now. The last time I thought I was speaking to someone in the States, turns out they had just landed in Kenya. Doc, can you hear me?
Hi, Waiga. How are you?
Fine, thank you. First, tell us which city you're in Canada, and whether you got a chance to vote earlier today.
Yes, I'm in Toronto. That is Ontario. And we voted in Toronto today. Actually, we have just finished like 3 hours ago.
Sorry, and I missed the last part. You said you finished 3 hours ago, or?
Yes, it is now 9:21 p.m. and we closed the polling station at around 5:30. Then the counting and other things. So we leave the polling station at around 7.
Okay, so you left counting still ongoing, and hopefully later on the transmission of the Form 34A and the results will happen.
Right.
Okay, what was the whole experience like? Any complaints, any successes, so that I don't just look like I'm asking you a negative question?
Yeah, no, it went on well, and it was so successful. It's only that I think there was a challenges, so many people did not come out well. But according to the how it was conducted, the IBC, everything went on well, and we voted well. Actually, the result was amazing. And just a minute, I can share. No, I can tell you that.
You have the Form 34. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Don't worry about it. We'll get it on our end. We have our own, do I call him returning officer? We have our own here, and he'll get it for us. What I want to hear from you is, you mentioned, have we lost him? Dr. Gondi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm saying the turnout was not that 100%. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What are some of those? You said there were some hiccups. What kind of hiccups were reported?
Hiccups because I think the time that people were voting, some of people didn't get a chance to vote because of criteria of job that they are doing. So that one did not allow everyone to come. But we were having around 80% turnout voters, which was good, and everyone voted. And actually, it was so fast, and we were there, and people voted well. Counts went on well, and people were happy, and it was like kind of enjoyment.
Kind of enjoyment. I like that. How many registered? Would you know how many registered voters there were in that polling station or in that location that you voted at? And also, then paint for us a picture of how many Kenyans you estimate also live in Canada.
Yeah, the polling station that I was voting in is called that is in Toronto. That is the main one. We were having in Canada. We have 3 polling stations: one in Toronto, one in Ottawa, the capital city, and the one is in Vancouver. Actually, the one is in Toronto is the major one, which having many people. We are around, just a minute, I'm going to give you the figure now. The exact figure, according to the polling station in Toronto, is it's supposed to be
Sometimes
can you hear me?
Then I can hear you. I know that feeling when you had some data a couple of minutes ago, and just when you need it, you can't trace it. Any luck finding that number? And don't worry if you don't get it.
Yeah, but people voted well. Actually, it went on well.
Okay.
And,
do you feel, Dr. Gondi, that the voters there got sufficient voter education? Was the time given for voter registration sufficient? Because what we've heard from those who voted in the UK and in the US was they really wish they had had more time to get more Kenyans on board with this diaspora voting.
Yeah, we have so many people around. We didn't even manage to have the voter card when the IBC came. And actually, I think those issues we try to address them up, and we're going to address them because we want to reach everyone and we want everyone to vote. We have so many Kenyans more so in diaspora, even in Canada itself. And we realized that many people did not come out and take the vote because some didn't. Initially, the information was not clear because they were saying that if you don't have ID, you must have a passport, or and later on they changed it to we must have an ID. That one was challenging. Many people lose hope. But later on, when they said IDs, people were rushing here and there. The information was not clear before, and that was the challenge that many people did not turn out well to go and have voter registration. But we hope for the best that they tried their best. We can't complain and such, but we're in the process, and there's a lot of issues that we address with the IBC, and I know they're going to address them. And now coming 2027, we are looking forward that those people in diaspora, they must get information early or earlier so that they can vote, they can have voter registration in time, and also they can prepare and they should know time. Because last time, like Canada, when they were coming to Canada, we just realized that the IBC was around, which was not good with us because they need to announce it early so that we must have time. People should prepare on that.
Should I assume that this wasn't the first time that Kenyans in Canada have gotten a chance to vote, or it was?
Yes, it is the first time.
It is the first time. Okay. Right. And one of the concerns raised by some of the other diaspora voters that we spoke to earlier was they wish, and I don't know how this would have happened, that they got a chance to engage in some of the other races, but that clearly that wouldn't be possible unless you're voting for a diaspora representative, which is an idea one of the other speakers we spoke to earlier suggested was a thought, a possibility from where they sit.
Pardon?
Have you heard my question? I said one of the speakers we spoke to earlier said they wish Kenyans in the diaspora got a chance to engage more in our democratic process, maybe through a diaspora representative, or even be given the chance to vote in a specific county from afar, if they wanted to, and if there was a way to ensure that that was secure.
Yeah, that's very true, because we realize that so many people are traveling from different places, and sometimes it is far. And that one is also another challenge, that many Kenyans, we are not living in the same place. We are living in other cities. So you realize that traveling to one city, that was also a challenge that we tried to address. And that one is a major thing that I think we try to address it, because we want all Kenyans to be exercise their right in voting. So we need to reach all Kenyans, and we try. That's why the communication is very important. If we can have the early communication with the IBC, then we tell them the centers that where they can reach many people, so that we can have more people to vote and to exercise their right. Like actually in my polling station, the people who were supposed to vote there was only 167, and the people turn out today were 121. So you see, and we are so many. We are so many, even where we live now, we are so many than this number. We are more than, if you call even Kenyan meeting today, you realize 1,000 people. But the question is, why only 167 are the people who are legit or have the voter registration, voter's card? It means that there's lack of information. There's a lot of things that we need to do, and IBC also need this information to us, so that we can reach more people and more people to join and vote, because many Kenyans are just watching on TV, and it is their democratic right to vote,
Dr. Hilary Gondi, thanks so much for sharing some of your thoughts with us. And for you and the Kenyans out there in Canada, please keep following the results on Citizen TV, and we'll bring them your way. as and when we can.
Yeah, we are not sleeping, and I know you are doing a good job, and we are following you up, and we hope for the best, and we need peace for our country. That's what we are praying for. We are telling everyone that let us vote, let us pray for our country, no matter who is coming in, but let us embrace peace and let us have a leader that will take our country forward.
Thank you.
And we'll address all these challenges that we are facing, most of the diaspora people.
Thank you, Daktari. I don't know if Sam, Vicky, any further thoughts?
Curious, because I think it's the same question more or less I asked the other diaspora and Kenyans. What issues are you voting around? Because you're not living within the jurisdiction of Kenya, but what drives you to the ballot in terms of issues from where you are?
There's a lot of issues that we can address. One of them is that we are Kenyans. As much as we are diaspora, one thing that is remain that I am a Kenyan. And a Kenyan, wherever we are, will remain, that one will remain. By right, by birth, by everything. Two, we need leaders because at the end of the day, our family, most of our families are staying back there. So at the end of the day, I'm attached back home more than even diaspora. So these are the things that, and now we need the IBC to come up and address these issues. And we need leaders also to come out even to address the diaspora issues, because we realize that leaders are coming in, they don't address the diaspora issues. They want just to come and during election, they are doing this. These are the challenges that we are seeing the diaspora. We don't have much information, and we realize that the diaspora people, they are much concerned with the issues that is happening back home, because that's our home, and that's where all of us belong. And now all these things, we need a leader who can address them, like even employment issues, because people are running from home to come to diaspora, and people want to come even to school here, no scholarships and other things. We realize that many people are struggling. These are the things that we need the incoming leadership to address these issues with diaspora, so that we can have a dialogue and we see way forward for our people.
Thank you for really painting a picture of some of the issues that formed the voting decisions of those living out there in the diaspora. And for you in Toronto, Canada, thanks for making time to speak with us today. I think we can...
Wahiga, just before we let him go...
Go ahead, Sam.
Maybe he should help us so that we can see how credible the IBC systems are. He can give us the results from his location to compare with what you have received.
In our location, it was successful. Actually, the way I've said, it was good. The KIMS kits were not, they were working well. There was no challenges, and everything went on well. As much as maybe there's some, like in Ottawa, there was a lot of hiccups. They were closing, no, in Vancouver, they were closing up, they're opening up. But at the end of the day, they finished well. But in our polling station, things went on right. I don't know, because
were you able,
many.
What's your side?
Were you able to hang on long enough to get the final results?
Yeah. We got the final results, and many the people who voted in our polling stations were 121. Azimio got 78 votes. UDA get 38. Roots Party 4. Agano Party 1.
That's impressive, Wahiga.
Is that close?
It's the same data you have from...
Exact.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Just as you said it.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was no spoiled votes. Rejected votes was not there. In Ottawa polling station, Azimio got 66. UDA got 22. Roots Party 1. Agano 0. There was no any vote that spoiled. And even turning out there was so low, because the people who attend were 89, and the registered voters there were 112. So we are waiting the Vancouver results. They are counting now, because it is when they have just closed it, I think 1 hour ago. So they are still counting, and we're gonna get it in a few minutes time.
Wow.
It's the same. It's
spot on.
Impressive.
Spot on.
Yeah.
So a very good representation from our guest here, Daktari. And of course, just to confirm the results, that from Ottawa, 66 for Raila Odinga, William Ruto, 22, 1 for Jakoya, 0 for Maure. Toronto, 78 for Raila, 38 for Ruto, 4 for Wajakoya, 1 for Wahiga, and that takes the total to 2,632 for Raila Odinga, 1,361 for William Ruto, 26 for Wajakoya, 23 for Wahiga from the diaspora. Very impressive.
Dr. Gondi, you look like you're nodding, agreeing with a bit of what you heard there. Thanks so much for helping us to verify.
Yeah, that's what we have, and we thank you, man. We thank you so much, and we wish we have a much dialogue even after the election, so that we can address issues that is pertaining the election that's coming up in 5 years. Than waiting until when the election is there is when we are trying to address these issues. We need to address them early so that when time is there with us, we're going to vote. Now everybody is ready to vote and also knows what is happening, because many people are very green. They have a lot of questions. When IBC came, I think last week in the US, to ask a lot of questions that they could have not answered because the time is not there. You know, it is now that they are concerned about the election that is coming in. We are saying that we are calling upon the IBC even immediately after elections. They need to address these issues more so with the diaspora, because we are not that home. So we need to get more information. We need to get more information from the IBC and what is needed. So how can we prepare and all these things? So that one will help us in future.
Dr. Gondi, thank you so much. I trust the IBC has had your wish list today. They have
one more question from Mudira.
Oh, go ahead.
As an aspirant that would have been in this election, I would like to ask a question with regard to the enthusiasm that we've seen from the diaspora community. Clearly, judging from the numbers that have been crunched here, there is more engagement from the diaspora. And I'm wondering, is it because the two top contenders in this election have made diaspora an important part? Because you look at Kenya Kwanza, they had a suggestion that they would dedicate a whole ministry to the diaspora. And then the Azimio Brigade had a suggestion that they would ensure that there is representation in parliament for diaspora. So is it that the engagement from the diaspora is because IEBC has made the voting process more accessible, or it's what the candidates or contenders are offering to the diaspora? Which one is driving you more?
I think I've said before that what driving us most really ones we as diasporas, we know home is Kenya. Kenya is our home, and that's why what driving us, anything that is happening back home, we are very much concerned. And I've said that we have even family back home. You realize that even I'm here alone, and all my brothers, my siblings, my parents are still back home. So you realize that all my interest is back home, and almost 90%. Only 10% is here. And I want to mention something here that many diasporas contributing a lot to our economy, and that if you do analysis, you realize that we are contributing a lot. And that's why we are very much concerned with what is happening home, and we need to be there. And that's why when voting comes, we are interested with the leaders that is coming in to make sure that the diaspora people, their issues are addressed and addressed well. And we need to have dialogue with them because we are contributing a lot. Even during election time, you realize that diaspora people, they are being called to contribute towards the campaigns and other things. So we are much engaged in everything that is happening home, even development. We are much engaged back home. So that's why we are addressing this, and that's why you see the UDA, the Azimio, and even other political parties, they have much interest by the diaspora people. That's why you see they want to give us ministers, they want to give us MP, which is, they should not even give us one, they should even give us more, you know. So many things that is happening because we are contributing so much to our economy and back home, all the diaspora people. And that's why we are saying that we need this thing to be addressed and seriously, And more so, not only when elections are here with us, but even after or before election, or when things are normal, these leaders should come out and address all these things with diaspora, because we are part and parcel of our economy back home.
Dr. Gondi, thanks so much. I don't want to lock anyone else out. Thank you. Thank you, Daktari. We can now release you. It could be dinner time where you are. Here it's more closer to breakfast. Go ahead and please enjoy the rest of your evening. And thanks so much for speaking with us. We look forward to engaging with you in the days to come about this very important democratic process that you and those out there in Canada have been able to participate in. Joining us from Toronto, Canada, there is Dr. Hilary Gondi walking us through voting that happened in 3 locations, 3 polling stations in Canada, and some of the results that he's given us from what he got directly has tallied with what we've gotten from those Form 34As.